Hi guys, I'm Rahul and welcome back to my channel. Yeah. So this video, hey bro, wait. Before you get into the video, I want to say this video is specifically made for beginners, and so the expert levels or the people who are already into the hobby who are following my channel, do watch this video and let me know if I missed out any important points. So this video is specifically for people who are getting into the hobby and who want to enjoy the hobby like how we all do. So if I missed out some points, do let me know, and I will make another video if I missed out something specific. So yeah, on to you, bro. Okay, done. Yeah. So getting back to this topic, it's about why we should not keep a fish in a bowl, and you might actually eventually kill it. So this video I'm going to be covering about the basics of what happens in a bowl, and specifically I want to talk about goldfishes, because goldfishes are such a beautiful fish, but a lot of people, including me, I started off with the hobby keeping about three or four goldfish in a bowl, and eventually they didn't survive. One reason I would say everybody buys a bowl, I think, who's getting into the hobby, is because firstly it is very small, takes less space, and of course costs very less. And a lot of people think it's cute. It is, of course, it is cute and it is nice, and but goldfish is not a fish to keep in a bowl. Okay, so why I make this video specifically is because everybody, like I said earlier, does this mistake, and goldfish actually grows up to 4 to 5 inches. That is this big, if it is kept in the right way and if it is kept in a good environment. It can grow up to this much, and some varieties even grow bigger, as some even grow as big as discus, so that is what we are keeping in a small bowl, where we keep almost 2 to 3 depending on the size what we get, and we end up eventually killing it, right? So the biggest problem we should understand about goldfish is goldfish eat a lot. If you see the actual goldfish pellets also, they're pretty big, and they eat a lot. They got big mouth, they eat a lot, accordingly they poop also a lot. So pooping is a regular thing what every fish does. So what we should understand is, in a bowl we cannot have filtration. Okay, every fish needs very good water. So in a bowl, what happens, eventually there will be an ammonia spike, and when there's ammonia, that will cause issues to the fish, to the external, then eventually it will cause problems for it internally also. So what do we do when we have to do water change? What we do, everybody does this: remove the fish out, put it into another mug or something, and then clean the bowl out, and then put fresh water, and then again put the fish back inside. So when you're doing all of this, you're handling the fish. The more you handle the fish, the more you hurt the fish. So you kind of hurt the fins, you kind of hurt the scaling, you affect mainly the slime. There is a body slime which is there on every fish, which gets affected, and once that is affected, it will start causing an infection, and then eventually we'll be held up. We'll be just trying to treat it, putting medication and all of that. That is a big issue, and a lot of people leave the hobby because when fishes die at home, it's even I get kind of depressed when a fish dies. So I'm sure when it happens to a new fish, when you're getting into the hobby, it's something very depressing. So first things first, don't keep a goldfish in a bowl. That's very important. There are some fishes you can keep in a bowl which I'm going to be making another separate video. So that is separate, but specifically I want to say, don't keep goldfish, angel fishes. All these are huge fishes. They grow up to as big as your hand. So that, you've seen the size of a ball. The biggest ball is only about, I think, less than a feet. So that is a very sad thing, and I think we shouldn't do that. Yeah, so that is one of the major important things which I wanted to say in this video. Second thing is, a lot of you guys might say that you can put a sponge filter inside and all that. But again, in a sponge filter, the smallest of sponge filter is, I think, 3 inches in size, and that will take that much of space inside your bowl, right? So where is the space for the fish? You get that? So fishes need some space to move around. And one more thing, in a bowl it's round, and the fish is continuously going in circles, which is not a big issue. A lot of people might say, "Arey kya hai? It doesn't matter." But it doesn't have space and it is going in circles. So that is not enough. Okay, the moment you add things, you add stones, you add some plastic plant, whatever, you are reducing the space for the fish, okay, inside a bowl, right? So one more important point, I've seen a lot of these shopkeepers who say that you can just put an air stone a bubbler inside, and then that will give oxygen for the fish, which is good. But what you should understand is, when you put a bubbler inside or a sponge filter inside, when there is a bubbling happening, there is a huge wave which is again in circular motion because it's a bowl. So it is continuously creating a current inside which we cannot see, and the fish actually goes through a lot of stress and strain to maintain itself in its right position, and we are putting the fish in stress, specifically a goldfish or any other little big fish which will grow big, right? So if you put them inside, they will not be able to move around easily, and they're continuously struggling to maintain themselves because of the wave. Another issue with a bowl is basically is that it's very thin. It's kind of a mold, right? So the glass is very, very thin. So even if you keep it on a table or something, and if something sharp touches it, there's a huge possibility of it to break. So it is not like a permanent solution, and you can't get thick glass for a bowl. So bowl is that way. It's a kind of a little dangerous when if you have kids and all at home. So be careful. Because generally, even I started with the bowl, and I kept the bowl on my dining table, and even if you touch something, it can just crack because it's a very thin kind of a glass because of the shape and because of the mold. So that is one more reason. I would say to I just thought I should add that. And one more thing is specifically to winter season, because now if you see in Bangalore, it's very, very cold, and of course every place there's winters, and during winters the water becomes really cold. For any fish, you need to have some heating. So in a bowl, first of all, it's very small. You can't add heaters. If you add heaters, the thermostat will not work well. So the cutoff may not work well. So you cannot actually maintain the temperature. You cannot have a good thermometer inside, or you have to have a digital thermometer. So all of these things are very important for a fish, right? So to maintain the temperature, to maintain the water parameters, to give it good, clear, ammonia-free water and all of that. All of that, if you want to have it in a bowl, is going to be very, very difficult. So that's one more reason I thought I should add before I end this video. So because that's also a reason, because when winter comes in, you can't add heaters. It's not available. You get small ones, but again, they don't have a proper thermostat. It doesn't cut off well. So all that is kind of a thing when so eventually, you can the amount of money you spend on the bowl when the fish is and all of that, you can actually get a small fish tank, which you can actually do all of this. You can add a filter, you can add a heater, you can have a good thermometer and all of that. And then, fishes are happy end of the day, right? So the most important, another factor which I want to say to all beginners who are getting into the hobby is, it's a superb and lovely hobby to get into. It's a lot of time pass. It's a lot of relaxing. You can actually look at your fish tank and, actually relax and have it gives a lot of peace to me. At least I'm sure it gives a lot of peace to a lot of other hobbyists who have fish tanks at home, and one of the reasons why we all keep a fish tank at home. So the main thing is, any fish you want to keep is very important. You understand what you want to keep. Don't do this mistake of what I have done. I'm sure a lot of the experts also who have been into the hobby before, don't go to a fish tank or a fish shop and then select the fish and say, okay, give me the fish, give me the tank. Never do that. Please don't do that. So please research. Don't go to a fish store and then just say, okay, I want this, I want this, I want this. No. Please understand. Suppose you want to keep a goldfish, read about it. Everything is available on Google. Just type goldfish, how to keep goldfish. It's there. How to keep a guppy, how to keep a molly. Everything is there, and you have the internet on your phone. Just do your research before you go to a fish tank. And end of the day, like I always say to a lot of people, it's a life we are putting into a box or into a bowl, whatever it is. It is our responsibility to take care of it. If we don't, nobody else is going to do that, right? So we have to take that responsibility. It's a life, so please be responsible and do some research before you go to the shop, and then then decide on what fish you want to keep. Please do that. Don't go to a shop and just, because see, end of the day, you should understand, the shopkeepers in every shop, they want to fish shopkeepers, they want to just sell the fish, right? They don't, not everybody, there are a lot of shopkeepers I've seen in Bangalore itself who don't care if the fish lives or dies. No offense, but it has happened to me. They don't care if the fish dies. They just say, okay, you can take, you can put this with this, you can put this with this. that's not the way it is. Eventually you will kill the fish, right? So understand what you want to keep, please research about it, and then do the right thing. Yeah, I'm going to be starting a series. This is the first video. I'm going to be making another next video about what fishes you can actually keep in a bowl. Okay, so that's going to come up next. And after that, I'm going to be starting about, if you're going to get into the hobby little more seriously, I'm going to have 10 pointers of how to get into the hobby, like a beginner guide. That is going to be a series. So if you want to be part of this series, do subscribe. And we have 4 regional channels. We make videos in Hindi, Malayalam, Tamil and Kannada. So go to the videos description, all the thing, or in our main channel, all the regional language channels, links are there. So do, check it out. So like I said, it's a life we are putting into a box or a bowl. So be responsible before you buy any fish. And I always say this, and I think this is something, I think who knows me will say, the easiest part is to buy the fish. You can buy the fish, you can buy any fish. It's there online. You can just go to any shop. You like this, you can just buy it. Yeah, that's the easy part. But how to take care of it and how to keep it living and how to thrive and how it has to grow and seeing that entire cycle is the most important thing, and it's a responsibility. Yeah, take that responsibility before you start the hobby. Okay, so until our next video, stay safe.